worm think to use a robot arm?
Listen to me.
They can't think.
Oh, hang on, I'd like to know. I'd like to know how this tiny
How do you
worm...
know? How do you know? What I'm saying is, a worm's never had an arm.
You're a maniac. Think what you're saying. You wish a worm had an arm for a day.
No, all I'm saying is, if we're going to faff about here and get animals giving them extra arms, don't...
They weren't giving a monkey an extra arm. They were testing this theory that they could make the first computer-brain interface. The thought went from the brain through a computer and made this arm work. That's incredible. The upshots are... You can really have bionic arms. You could have amputees having perfectly working dexterous limbs.
And your response to that is?
Give it to a worm.
I'd just say I'd be more... I'd sort of be fascinated about seeing it more. If they said, look at what the worms wants to do with an arm if it had one.
I honestly don't know how your brain works. I think we should give it to you and see what you do with the arm.
What? I tell you what.
How could a worm have an arm, Carl? It
wouldn't have an arm. The monkey didn't have an arm. It was a robot arm that they'd set up.
Right. Let me explain it like this. I wish they'd have picked something else. Maybe not a worm, but they always seem to do the tests on the wrong animals.
No, they do it on the closest thing to the human being they can.
I'll tell you what I read. Do you know I say I like to learn something every day and what have you?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, it was about our worm. They've given it anti-aging cream.
Right.
When have you ever seen an old worm? How do we know if it's any good? I could not tell you the age of a worm. I've seen loads of them. Give it a tortoise.
Play a record.
Bob Dylan, Positively 4th Street.
I actually, Rick, was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if this was thanks to your campaign, but I did pass somewhere. It was admittedly a European person, but as I passed, they went, "Oi, oi! Carl Pilkington's got a head like a f***ing orange."
That's amazing.
Which is lovely to see.
And
I've had it all the way around the world.
That's in Vietnam. What were you doing in Vietnam?
Just heard there was a war. Went over to see if that was wrapped up. They finished that a while ago.
So you've been to Vietnam. You went to...
Popped down to Cambodia at the same
Cuba,
time.
yeah, Cambodia, Kenya. I was wondering, would you ever consider going to a holiday destination where you didn't have to have injections in the stomach to get in?
Well, you know what? I am an adventurer by spirit. I'm a sort of Indiana Jones figure, and plus someone was paying for it in high-class luxury. There was no slumming it. I felt a bit bad because I was worried that I wouldn't see the real Vietnam, but I did. I did see the real Vietnam from the air-conditioned 4x4 that I was being driven to my 5-star hotel.
And what's it like?
It's great. It's really good. I mean, obviously, the war was a long time ago, so they've got back on the, back on their uppers. I don't know what I mean by that, but anyway,
that's the other way around. If you're on your uppers, isn't it? Yeah.
Back on. Anyway, it's doing well. A lot of nice people, a lot of generous people. Obviously there's poverty.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things over there I think which would really intrigue you, Carl, and I think it's a great shame that you're not more adventurous as a traveller, because I think it would really open your eyes.
You're having a laugh. He has about 9 holidays a year.
Yeah, but he goes to the same place, doesn't he? Some rock in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's safe. I know Vietnam.
There's nothing there.
I know, but I don't sort of... What I've seen of Vietnam, I had a mate who went to somewhere like that. He showed me a picture. I had a picture of him walking round with a bag of locust that had been sold, and that's to eat.
Well, I did actually utter the phrase at one point. Oh, I think that gecko's repeating on me.
That's what I mean.
So, I mean, I am quite exotic. I don't mind. I tell you what I didn't do, though, and I think I would fascinated to have seen you down there. There's a place in Vietnam, just outside of Hanoi, called Snake Village, right? And it is a long, long tradition in Vietnamese culture of eating snakes. In fact, one of the tourists even said, one of the guides actually said, "We will eat anything." And they eat snakes over there, and I'm not just talking about tiny little ones. I mean proper great big mammoth snakes, sometimes even king cobras, which I think may even be endangered in some parts of the world. And anyway, in Snake Village, you go over there. I didn't go because I was just a bit too squeamish. You sit down, they bring a great big snake. You choose it like you would a lobster. They bring you that snake. They sort of give it a bit of a demonstration. Then they slit it open in front of you.
That's disgusting.
The blood dribbles into a cup, and then if you're the guest of honour, they take the still beating heart and they make you drink it from a glass.
Yeah, you see,
that's disgusting.
I've never fancied that.
No,
I've never sort of thought. Do you know what? I just think it's not holiday. That it's like endurance.
Well,
I don't.
I'm not suggesting that you would enjoy that. I'm saying that there are many of these interesting, exotic worlds out there, Do you just stay closeted in your tiny little world and whinge about everyone else? Oh, and this and that. You've got no real empathy. I mean, I went to some extraordinary places in Vietnam. There's quite a lot of floating villages. Villages that are actually floating on the water where the fishermen
Well, he's
live.
had trouble with his boiler. There was a big leak in your flat, wasn't there?
But that's fine. Looking at stuff like that. All I'm saying is, when it comes to the point when I'm getting hungry, don't be serving me a snake's head. I'd love to see a little floating village. But why is it every restaurant you go in, they go, do you want some crispy ant, sea urchins? Some mate had one of them. He said it's sort of alive when you're eating it. You have to hit it on the head to knock it out a bit and eat it before it wakes up again. I don't want a meal where you're sort of having to do that to it. I'm not going to enjoy it thinking, is it waking up yet? I haven't finished my starter. Oh, it's rolling about a bit. Hit it on the head again.
But this shows your ignorance, Carl, because Vietnamese food is not like that at all, is it? I'm just talking about one particular exotic restaurant.
What was your last holiday? A couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cheap one though.
Go on, where'd you
It was
go?
only 250 quid.
Yeah, brilliant. Go on.
Just a place in
You don't
Menorca.
want to waste money, do you?
Menorca. It's just
You've been there before, haven't you?
no, I don't think I have.
You've basically been to the same places over there.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there was nothing there to see. It was just. Even the weather wasn't that good. But
So it was a
I don't
waste
know
of
why I
time.
went.
No wonder it was 250 quid.
I don't know why I went.
But it's an experience.
So you and Suzanne went away for an idyllic holiday. It was £250 all in for a week, was it? Weather wasn't very good. There was nothing to see.
It was a shithole.
Right, what did you do?
I just sat outside and I was watching.
In the rain.
Brilliant. You didn't even
No.
need to hire a villa then. You could have just pitched up and said, "Can I sit here?"
We had our own space, and for the first day it was all right. And then then a family moved in next door from Scotland, and they were loud. And I hate it when people are loud and you can't understand what they're saying because their accents was really strong. So it's like, no, I can't even sit here and listen to what's going on. It's like really strong accent.
Brilliant.
The kid was only young, but he sounded old. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what that means.
No, I've no idea.
Just the Scottish voice, it sounds old. Even though he was a baby, he had a voice of an old man.
I don't know what that
But
means.
this is what I'm saying. You don't go anywhere where you can embrace the change and the difference. You go to places where just some annoying people come and move in next
I
door.
had paella. I mean, it depends how much you want out of life. How much, what... Yeah, like I've said to you, life's about learning.
What do you want to learn?
I'm just saying that's what life's about. If you don't learn anything, then what's the point? You might as well be a mayfly.
Right.
We've got all these years on the planet.
Yeah.
See something.
Hold on. This is what Steve's saying.
I know. But I'm saying, watch it on the telly.
There we are. There's the rub.
Rilo Kiley. Portions for foxes.
If you love good music, by the way, you should tune into Six Music on
Well-
Sunday afternoons, the Steve Show.
Well, at the moment you're listening to Enemy Radio.
Well, yeah, but
You can listen to that on enemyradio.com or on your telly,
yeah,
on the internet,
go to
everywhere around the
BBC
world.
if you want to-
Enemy. Probably along with Rolling Stone, one of the most famous, most respected
Yeah.
music.
Well, yeah, but you can carry on reading.
Magazines.
You can carry on reading Rolling Stone magazine after you're about 16 years of age. Have you read The Enemy?
Not for a while.
The letters pages. People complaining about the haircut of the bloke from the Kaiser Chiefs. It's not a pressing concern. Move on.
That's the problem, isn't it? That's me with music. I like to sing along to a track. But
I doubt that.
I do. Well,
Go on.
No, I sort of hum.
Go on then. What's the last track you hummed along to?
What's your shower song? People supposedly have a shower song they sing in the shower. What's yours?
Oh, with my boiler being broke, it's got to be a short one.
How's that going?
People won't believe it. See, that's the other thing that people think, I've been moaning about the boiler since, about 2006.
Yeah.
I've had it fixed loads of times.
Mm.
Still the fault now. Every summer, it's come round again, the hot weather. It's not working.
Get a new boiler.
I can't get a new one. People keep saying get a new one. I can't get a new one because
Why?
no one will fit one in the cupboard that it's in.
What, you can't find a single boiler in the world?
No, what they said was British Gas said they can't touch it because it's dangerous.
That's good.
I got in a dodgy fella to try and sort it, and he said, I don't want to tap that one, it seems too dangerous. He said, have you got an alarm in here? I said, what do you mean? Old boiler, I'm not messing with it.
So immediately you went out and got that seen to?
No, I've got an alarm now.
Have you?
Yeah,
What, you're
it's fine.
genuinely telling me there is no one anywhere who
The-
can take this
the
boiler out? What
only
they got to do, they just got to blow up the house,
No,
have they?
what they said was, they said we can put one in your lounge for you. because they said you've got to knock a wall down. All this, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
What do you got to knock a wall down?
They said knock a wall down to put up a new boiler, and I don't want to start knocking walls down just for the sake of hot water. It's not worth it. Put the kettle on. I can't be bothered. So yeah, it is still ongoing.
He ain't got to wash his hair, has he?
No, that's true.
So yeah, I don't really have a shower song. But yeah, music's all right. I just don't want to know everything about
Music's
it. It's
all right.
No, it's good.
It's one of the seven
Yes,
wonders
I
of the
know,
world.
I know it is. Yeah, it's good.
It's beyond. I can't describe. I couldn't try to describe how amazing music is.
Yeah, I know.
Not the shit we've been playing.
No, I'm just.
But I mean,
I'm just
good
saying.
music, classical
Vaughan
music.
Williams and Beethoven.
The music affects the brain in extraordinary ways. People with, sleeping sickness who are otherwise almost in a vegetative state hear music, they can suddenly can come awake, they can sometimes even dance. I was watching a documentary the other night about people with, Tourette's syndrome, where it affects, the body in different they have spasms and twitches, but when they're drumming, all those spasms and twitches go away. Other people who've got the IQ of children, and yet they can play classical pieces, they can improvise in an extraordinary jazz way. It's a remarkable thing.
Music
It works
does
at a subconscious
something.
No,
level.
it does. Yeah, there's an Elvis song that my hairs always go up on my back every time I hear it. I don't know why. Every time I hear
Well,
it.
I know why, because it's not on your head.
But you've worked in music, you've worked around music for years, and not once has it improved your IQ.
No, I like. Do you know the biggest problem, Steve? I don't want to moan.
You do.
You can't get away from noise these days, and that's the problem. I think that's music's almost got too important now. People can't think, and that's the problem with music. There's always noise. You can't get away from it, and I can't concentrate. If there's any sort of noise, I can't concentrate. My brain's going, "What's the noise?" And my ears are going, "I don't know. Go and have a look." And
I love
guys-
the fact that your brain's talking to your ears.
it's all connected.
The irony is, I genuinely think that conversation is going on
I
in
know,
Carl's head.
and I think the ears are slightly cleverer than his brain.
No, they all kick in, don't they? Yeah, I'm sat there, my brain's working.
Go
I might
on.
be writing something, I might be doing that book, I'm thinking my brain's going, right, yeah, it's working, and then a noise happens outside. My ears go, what's that? My eyes go, well, I'll have a look. Brain goes, yeah, go on then. Suddenly, they're not even thinking about the book.
They!
All the time.
They!
No.
It's you!
No, but
There's no conversation between ears and
this
eyes
is
and
where it's
brains.
interesting.
He's read the Numbskulls. Do you remember that as a kid? Lots of little people inside a person's brain making it work. Herman's head for American.
Turning a wheel
Yeah.
to
I've
move
said to you
it.
though, well, how do you know which one's in charge? Because my brain was quite happy doing that book, but my ears got bored.
Make a note of that, someone. If you're listening, make a note of that. My brain was quite happy working on the book, but my ears got
No, the
bored.
way I see it is your brain is like the adult.
The
Your
what?
The adult.
Oh,
In
I
you.
thought you said addled.
And your
adult.
ears and your eyes are like the kids, and they get bored quicker. And the brain's
Carl,
quite happy.
This doesn't work at all as a metaphor on any level, biologically, philosophically.
It does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work at all.
It does, because your brain does the thinking. Now, if I have earplugs in,
Yeah.
my brain can think better without the ears.
Yes, because there's nothing to put it off. It's concentrating. That's a distraction.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Your ears are just receptacles.
Hear him out.
Yes.
Hear him
Go on.
out.
So if your ears can't do their job, it's like a well-behaved kid. It sits there. It's quite happy. It's not interested in what's going on around it. Take the earplugs out, they go mental. What's that noise? What noise? Go and have a look. Eyes, go and have a look.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is the ramblings of a maniac.
Can you tell your brain to tell your mouth to talk some sense?
Well, which order would you say it works in?
Well, it's all working at the same time, isn't it?
No, but your brain's at the beginning of the. If it was a circuit, your brain's at the beginning.
No, necessarily. Not with hearing something. Your ears come first, but they're passive. Your ears are merely receptacles for sound, right? They're a conduit to the brain. So hearing is only thought. Hearing isn't the airwaves hitting your eardrum.
You can't block it out.
No, what I'm saying is that's a passive thing. Your fingers, when it touches something, it's your brain that develops that information. Your fingers aren't going, oh, I recognise that, it's a piece of cheese. It just touches it and your brain recognises it. It's all done in the brain. No, not convinced?
I'm just.
That information
I'll-
is still being worked on by the brain.
All I can do is tell you the way I work, and I know if I'm sat in a quiet place
No, Carl.
with nothing around
No, you
me,
can't tell me the way your brain works.
my ears get bored.
That makes no sense at all.
I'm telling you, if I'm in a quiet place, my
Right.
brain is happier. It can focus on what it's doing. The ears almost go, there's now to hear here, call it a day. The eyes,
No, they
the
don't.
eyes are going, well, there's now to see outside. Just chill out. Whereas if there's a noise outside, if it's a noisy street, everything's kicking in. My brain's getting annoyed. My ears are going, what's that racket? My eyes are thinking, oh, what was that scream? What's happened?
What's your nose doing?
Why is your eyes thinking, what's the scream?
What?
Why are your eyes getting concerned with noise?
He wants to see what the ears have heard.
Cure, Lullaby, on NME Radio. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, straight after your holiday, you got home and then came out to visit me in Boston on the set of my film I was doing.
Mm.
How was that?
Well, I didn't want to do it, did I? He called up and said, do you want to come out? And
Do
I
a
thought,
favour for me. Ricky said, can you do a favour for me? You thought no.
Well, no, I didn't just go no. I sort of said, what is it? And he said, oh, well, you can just have a part. And he's like, what's the point though? I'm not an actor, I can't act. What's the point? It's
Well,
a
you
long
are,
way
you're
to
Graham.
go. So anyway, he said, alright, don't bother. Then a week later, calls back and he says, bring Suzanne with you if you want. Have holiday. So I thought, yeah, I could treat Suzanne to that.
I thought a little part for him. They'd probably pay 2 flights.
Yeah.
You know, she's coming out. And
So-
I thought, share it with friends. I was
You're a
having-
generous guy.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, she'll love that. That'll get me in the good book. So I said, listen, we're going to Boston. She goes, right. Anyway, Ricky books the tickets and that. She can't get time off because we'd just been in Minogue. So I had to go on my own, right? Which, you know, fair enough. I'd said I'd go by that point. It'd all been booked. The costume that I needed for the film bit had been made. I couldn't get out of it. I was in too deep. Anyway, go there. Boston isn't worth seeing. I mean, you're talking about travelling the world and you know, opening your eyes and seeing new things. There's nothing to see in Boston. It's Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. There's nothing else, is there? I'm not being unfair there. I mean, it looks nice. There's nice buildings.
You mean there's not a museum of the weird?
There's they had something to do with tea bags, didn't they? That I told
No, it's the Boston
hotel.
Tea Party. It was nothing to do with tea bags. It was the
other
Boston
than that-
Tea
other than
Party. That one of the founding events of America.
Yeah, I know,
It
yeah.
wasn't something to do with tea bags.
So other than that,
It wasn't chimps. There was no chimps involved in the Boston Tea Party.
For me, I went out for a walk on 2 of the days when I wasn't having to work.
yeah, only worked for one day.
Well,
Got 3 days free,
2.
4 days in a hotel, all paid for. 1 day's work. I mean, it really is ungrateful.
So anyway, Steve, I dressed up as a caveman in some old animal stuff, which you thought, well,
This was for the film, was it? This wasn't just your natural.
Yeah. So can I just say, it was not real fur. I insisted there was no real fur.
Well, you
used.
say that.
Yeah.
I get back, right, I'm run down because I didn't sleep when I was out there. I'm not very good. If Suzanne's not in the bed, there's something. It's like I feel.
What? She's got to be there to tell you to sleep.
Well,
Close your eyes now, Carl.
it just.
No, and our ears. Stop
Listen
listening.
to my words. Stop. Yeah. Sleep now, ears.
So anyway, so I wasn't sleeping. So I was there for 4 days or whatever. I must have had about 3 hours.
One real day's work filming,
2,
and he was
2
shattered.
really, 2.
He was absolutely shattered. He was weak. He was ill for a week afterwards. I did
was
like
run down.
35 days. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, but you were sleeping. If you don't sleep, it's basic sort of biology. That. If you don't sleep, you get run down. Sloths never get a flu because it's good, isn't it? That's when your body's replenishing.
Can we just go that way?
What is it then?
I'm gonna burst. Sloths never get flu because that's when your body's replenishing.
So the thing is, I'm bound to get ill. Steve, you know what it's like. You're always like got a cold and that.
Oh, he's dissing you. Everything's
what's it got to do with
diss.
I'm just saying because you're a bit of a sickly child, so you don't
Oh, jeez!
I'm only
gonna go at the looks
understand.
and
No,
then
only because I'm trying to get him on my side. So anyway, so I'm shattered. I get back, so I think it's a bit weird that this isn't shaking off. And there was some news report about how there's some serious illnesses in planes because stuff goes out the engine and into the.
Oh yeah, it's people from all over the world with all different things.
Yeah,
all breathing the
so
same
I'm
air,
thinking,
yeah.
oh, what have I got? You know, it's my luck, innit? So I go to the doctors.
The doctor said, "Well, you've done a whole day's work. You're not used to that. Your body's shut down.
So he said,
You better have a holiday.
Yeah, you need. This is when your body needs replenishing. and I am a doctor, and I know replenishment is one of the best.
Replenishization.
Replenishization is one of the best things for slows.
So I said to him, I said, look, I'm not one to moan. I hardly go to see him.
He went, "Oh, you."
I hardly see him. I hardly see this fella. So I said, look,